$55 billion, 293-kilometer cut through Israel's Negev desert, and a plan that could end Egypt's century-long monopoly on Red Sea shipping. Remember March 2021, when the Ever Given got stuck sideways in the Suez Canal? 6 days paralyzed global commerce. Oil prices spiked, supply chains collapsed, billions lost every hour. But while the world watched in panic, Israel saw opportunity. They're planning something that could make the Suez Canal obsolete. The Gurion Canal, a desert waterway deeper and wider than Egypt's lifeline. Two-way traffic, where Suez forces single-file convoys. Megaship capacity, where Suez hits size limits. The question is, can Israel carve a new artery through hostile desert and rewrite the balance of Middle Eastern power? Let's find out. Egypt controls the world's most valuable ditch. The Suez Canal funnels 12% of global trade through a 193-kilometer bottleneck that generates $9.4 billion annually for Cairo. Every container ship from Asia to Europe, every oil tanker from the Gulf to the Mediterranean, they all pay Egypt's toll. The canal's chokehold on commerce runs deeper than revenue. When drought hit Panama in 2023, shipping costs exploded as vessels competed for limited Suez slots. When political tensions flare in the Middle East, Egypt can throttle global trade with a single decision. The Suez gives Cairo leverage over superpowers. But the canal's century-old design creates massive vulnerabilities. Single-direction traffic means convoys wait hours for opposing ships to clear the route. The narrow channel can't handle the newest megaships, vessels over 20,000 containers that represent the future of shipping. Maintenance shutdowns paralyze trade for days. Israel's Gurion Canal would shatter Egypt's monopoly with brute engineering superiority. The proposed route stretches 293 kilometers from the Mediterranean coast near Ashkelon to the Red Sea port of Eilat. That's 100 kilometers longer than Suez, but the path cuts through Israeli territory under complete national control. No foreign interference, no political complications from transit agreements. The canal specifications dwarf Suez's aging infrastructure. 50 meters deep versus Suez's 24-meter maximum. 200 meters wide compared to Suez's 205-meter width at the surface, but only 120 meters at the bottom. The Gurion Canal could handle ships carrying 25,000 containers, while Suez struggles with anything over 20,000. Two-way traffic eliminates convoy delays entirely. Northbound and southbound ships pass simultaneously, cutting transit times from 16 hours to 8 hours. The time savings compound across global supply chains. Manufacturers could reduce inventory costs, retailers could respond faster to demand shifts. The engineering challenges make Suez's sandy excavation look simple. Israel's route carves through solid limestone and granite bedrock. Traditional dredging won't work. They'll need controlled explosions, hydraulic fracturing, and specialized boring equipment designed for hard rock mining. Early proposals in the 1960s suggested nuclear excavation. Hundreds of atomic bombs detonated in sequence to blast the canal route. That approach was abandoned for obvious reasons, but it shows the scale of ambition driving this project. Modern construction would require 300,000 workers operating in desert temperatures exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Concrete pours would happen at night to prevent heat cracking. Water supplies would need pipeline delivery from desalination plants on both coasts. The timeline spans 5 years minimum, assuming perfect conditions and unlimited funding. Weather delays, equipment failures, and geological surprises could stretch construction to a decade. But Israel has experience with impossible desert projects. They've turned barren wasteland into agricultural zones and built thriving cities where nothing grew before. Revenue projections suggest the canal could generate $6 billion annually within 10 years of opening. That's 64% of Suez's current income, captured by undercutting Egypt's pricing while offering superior service. Shipping companies would pay premium rates for guaranteed passage times and megaship capacity. The strategic implications extend beyond commerce. A successful Ben Gurion Canal would position Israel as the gatekeeper of Red Sea trade, controlling access to Asian markets for European goods and energy supplies flowing to Mediterranean ports. But the most controversial aspect remains the optimal route, a path that cuts directly through Gaza territory, turning this engineering marvel into a geopolitical weapon that could reshape the entire Middle East. The most efficient path for the Ben Gurion Canal runs straight through Gaza, a 25-mile strip of territory that represents the project's biggest obstacle and its darkest controversy. Engineering studies confirm that a direct route through Gaza would cut construction costs by $15 billion and reduce the canal's length by 40 kilometers. The terrain offers ideal conditions: relatively flat coastal plain, softer sedimentary rock, and existing infrastructure that could support massive construction operations. But Gaza remains one of the world's most politically volatile territories. Any canal construction would require complete Israeli control over the area, displacing over 2 million Palestinian residents and triggering international condemnation that could kill the project before ground breaks. The alternative route around Gaza presents massive complications. The canal would need to curve inland through the Negev desert's harshest terrain, adding 18 months to construction time and requiring additional pumping stations to maintain water levels across elevation changes. The detour would also reduce the canal's competitive advantage. Longer routes mean higher operating costs and reduced time savings compared to Suez. Military analysts see darker motivations behind the canal's timing and route selection. The project gained momentum after 2021's Ever Given crisis, but serious planning began years earlier during periods of intense Gaza conflict. Some experts argue the canal provides economic justification for territorial control that serves broader strategic objectives. Control over Gaza would give Israel unprecedented leverage over regional shipping lanes. The canal's northern terminus would sit just 50 kilometers from major Mediterranean ports serving Turkey, Greece, and southern Europe. The southern terminus at Eilat already handles significant Red Sea traffic, but canal operations would multiply the port's strategic importance. American military planners have long struggled with Suez Canal dependencies. US Navy deployments between the Mediterranean Sixth Fleet and the Persian Gulf require Egyptian permission and cooperation. An Israeli-controlled alternative would eliminate that vulnerability, giving Washington direct access to Red Sea operations through a reliable ally. The economic warfare potential extends beyond Egypt. China's Belt and Road Initiative relies heavily on Suez Canal routes, connecting Asian manufacturing centers with European markets. Successful competition from the Ben Gurion Canal could disrupt Chinese trade patterns and force Beijing to recalculate shipping strategies that underpin trillion-dollar infrastructure investments. Regional power dynamics would shift dramatically if Israel controlled Red Sea access. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and other Gulf states currently depend on Egyptian goodwill for Mediterranean trade routes. An Israeli canal would offer alternative access, but at the price of normalizing relations with a country many Arab nations still consider an adversary. The nuclear excavation proposals from the 1960s revealed the project's military dimensions. Early plans called for 520 nuclear devices detonated in sequence to blast the canal route, a construction method that would have required extensive security zones and population evacuations. Modern conventional construction still demands military-grade security across 293 kilometers of sensitive territory. Environmental groups warn that canal construction through Gaza would devastate one of the Mediterranean's last undeveloped coastlines. The excavation would destroy archaeological sites dating back thousands of years and disrupt marine ecosystems that support local fishing communities. International law presents additional complications. The Geneva Conventions prohibit major infrastructure projects in occupied territories that primarily benefit the occupying power. Legal challenges could tie up the project in international courts for decades, regardless of engineering feasibility. Construction requirements for the Ben-Gurion Canal reveal the project's staggering ambition and complexity. The workforce alone would require unprecedented international recruitment. Over 300,000 engineers, technicians, and construction workers operating in rotating shifts across a 5-year timeline. Specialized equipment includes 200 excavators designed for hard rock removal, 150 concrete mixing plants, and custom-built boring machines capable of cutting through limestone bedrock. Advanced security features would transform the canal into a militarized shipping corridor. Laser tracking systems would monitor every vessel from entry to exit. Underwater sensor networks would detect submarine activity and potential sabotage attempts. Automated weapon detection barriers would scan cargo containers for prohibited materials. Revenue projections suggest the canal could capture $6 billion annually by undercutting Suez pricing while offering superior service. Shipping companies would pay premium rates for guaranteed transit times, two-way traffic, and megaship capacity that Suez cannot match. The ripple effects would reshape global shipping patterns within a decade. European retailers could reduce inventory costs through faster Asian deliveries. Energy companies could reroute oil tankers to avoid Suez bottlenecks during peak demand periods. Container shipping giants could redesign route networks around Israeli infrastructure. Competition with other Suez alternatives would intensify as multiple projects race for completion. Russia's Arctic shipping route offers seasonal access but requires specialized ice-capable vessels. Panama Canal expansions increase capacity but cannot match Red Sea location advantages for Asia-Europe trade. Environmental advantages over traditional canals include reduced maintenance dredging in rocky terrain and elimination of saltwater intrusion into freshwater aquifers. The desert location also minimizes disruption to existing agricultural areas and urban development. Regional economic disruption could destabilize Egypt's government if Suez revenues collapse. The canal provides 12% of Egypt's foreign currency earnings and employs over 100,000 workers directly. Competition from Israel could trigger economic crisis in a country already struggling with inflation and political instability. The project represents more than infrastructure development. It's economic warfare disguised as engineering progress, with potential to redraw Middle Eastern power structures for generations. Israel's Desert Canal gamble could rewrite Middle East power dynamics forever. $55 billion to challenge Egypt's trade monopoly and control Red Sea shipping lanes that move trillions in global commerce annually. Subscribe to see which megaprojects are reshaping